Hi guys, and welcome to a very simple calculator developed using Delphi programming environment. Alright, let me show you guys how this works. So we can backspace, you can enter whatever value you want to enter in there. Let's say plus minus and multiply that by 9, and that is what you owe. Let's clear. We can add whatever value we want to add, enter decimal place, multiply that by maybe 4. There we go. Clear. What else can we do? We can always say, let's assume we say 45 multiplied by 8. No, we don't want to multiply by 8. Clear entry, multiply by 2. There we go, 90. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you guys straight into Delphi development environment, and we'll put one of these very nice calculator together. So I'm going to exit out. Let's start a new project entirely, and right here create new window VCL. So let's click on that, or you can always go to file and just select new window VCL. There we go. Now I'm going to set the size of the form to, let's say the height is going to be approximately 544. Okay, and the width, we make the width approximately 370. There we go. Now let's add edit and just draw that here, something like that. That's my edit. And for this very edit, I am going to add a text to it. Let's enter a 0 in there. And the next thing is, now let's come in here and just enter T button. Just draw your T button there. I'm going to make the size of this button approximately 80 by 80. Let's come to the width, make that 80, and the height to make that 80 as well. Right there. Okay, I'm going to select both components and just increase the font size. So let's come right in here and look for font. There we go. That's the font. Click on font, and I'm going to make that bold. Scroll right down. Just let's make it about 20. There. I think that looks a little bit too small for me. I'm going to change it back to, let's go for maybe about 20 something. Okay, 26. That is fine. Right, now select the text or the edit, and let's get that aligned. See here, align. I'm going to align it to the right. Brilliant. Now these very buttons, I'm going to copy it around. So Control C, just paste. Control V. Now we have 2, we have 4. There we go. So select it all, copy, paste. There. Again, select it all, copy and paste. Now we have 16. Yeah, and one more. Grab that. We have 20. Alright, that's fine. Okay, that is looking good. Oh, I've already tampered with that. Let's make sure the height is what I want. It should be 544. It's now 545. There. Okay then, that is looking good. Now let's move this down a little bit. Yeah, something like that, and just increase the size of this a little bit more. Okay, that's fine. So what I want to do now is, in here I'm going to change the data that we have inside our very button. Let's come into name, and that is going to become, let's say BTN7. Where's name? Right. So that is going to become btn digit 7. There we go. And I'm going to repeat the same thing for the others. That's btn digit 8 digit 9, btn digit 4, btn digit 5, btn digit 6. Oh, that should be 5. You see, when you enter the name, make sure you press enter, else it's not going to show. So that is 5. Let's make sure 7 is there. It's not there. Press enter, and that is 8. Press enter. 9. Press enter. There. Okay, I think I have them in place. This should be 9, and this is okay. This should be 4, btn digit 4. This should be btn digit 5, digit 6, and this will be btn 1, btn digit 2, btn digit 3. There, and this will be digit 0, btn digit 0. Right here, this is going to be btn. Let's change that to dot. There. And here btn equals. Press enter. And this one here, we're going to make that btn divide. So the data in there is going to be divide. Yeah, I might as well just, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that now. Let's change the data so that you guys can see that. So this is division, and this one will be multiplication. This is going to be subtraction. Here I'm going to change that to addition. And these ones that I've already given names to, you can see their names. So that's going to be 7. This will be 8. This will be 9. And here we have 6. We have 5. We have 4. We have 1, 2, 3, and this is 0. We have decimal, and here we have the equals sign. There, looking like more or less like a calculator now. Okay, let's give this one a name. The variable name for that very one is going to be btn mult. There we go. The next one, btn subtract sub, and btn add. There. The one above is going to be btn plus minus, btn pm. There. Right here, this is going to be clear, btn c. And the text entry in that one should be just C, uppercase C. Where is it? Do that again. There. And we have btn CE, clear entry. So let's come in here and change that to CE. btn CE. And this is going to be btn backspace. I'm just going to enter BS in there. There. So the text content on it, I'm going to change that entirely. Alright, let's come into Word to get hold of backspace symbol. So go to insert, select symbol, click on more symbol. Inside more symbol, you now want to select the font you want. The one I'm looking for is going to be called Wingings, and let's grab hold of the symbol that we're looking for. That is it right there. Click on that, and there we go. I also need the plus minus. You can also get that on this symbol. There we go. Close. I'm going to grab hold of the plus minus, copy that, minimize Word document, select, make sure your plus minus is selected, scroll straight to the caption and add your plus minus. There we go. Now let's repeat exactly the same thing for the backspace. Copy that, come in here, there you end up with a dot, but you need to then change the font name. Scroll right down, you see where we have font. Let's change the font name of that particular button to Wingings. There we go. Click on OK, and there your backspace is in. Now let's start work with some coding. Oh, before that we need to give this a name. You see the text box? Let's scroll right down, see where we have name. We change the official name of that text box to, I'm just gonna call it TXT display. You can call it what you like and just call it TXT display. Alright, that is it. The text box now have its own name. So let's go to the coding area. Just click on the code there. Yeah, don't worry about that error. Once I run, if I click on run, that error will be cleared. You see that? It's all gone. Okay, so the system is now activated. So scroll right down. You see right here, what I want to do now is where we have private and public. I'm going to, inside private, I'm going to declare the following variables. So the first one, I'm going to call it first number, comma. Then I will also declare second number. Okay, and I am going to declare another one I will call answer, enter column, and my declarations, so I'm going to assign the string data type to them. That is it, done. And another declaration that I'm going to carry out, I'm going to call it operators, enter column, and the data type, I'm just going to call that char. There we go. I've declared my 4 data type that I need. Start work with some more code in here. So what we want to do now is, you see each of these buttons, when I click on them, I want the whatever I click on, the value clicked on should be displayed here. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want to write individual code for all, so I'm going to go to the events. Look at the event right there. So you see where we have OnClick, that's what I want to use. Inside OnClick, I'm just going to give that a name. We can call it numbers click. There, I'm going to copy numbers click. Make sure once you give it a name, you press enter, and that is it right there. Now inside number click, I am going to declare a variable here, and that variable I'm just going to call it B. Okay, B is going to be declared as a button, column T button. So I've just created an object. The name of the object is called B. Very simple. Now below B, come right inside begin and end and press enter in there. Now I want to then say B column equals sender as there. Okay, B is going to be sending out whatever message, okay, whatever you clicked on. So now let's use an if statement to verify whatever we clicked on. So we're going to say if txt display dot text equals, remember we have the 0 on it, equals 0. Then we ask it to begin the following: txt display, I might as well get hold of that, and then paste it right underneath here. So we then say txt display column, that will be equals b dot caption. Remember the button uses a caption as its method. There, enter semicolon. Else, okay, so what's going on here is if you click on this very button the first time, it will give you 7. So else, come right down here, let's enter else. I'm going to copy this, paste that in here. Else, if I click on it the second time, it should then keep adding 7, and that is all there is to it. So this, with these very small lines of code in here, I should be able to click on any of the buttons that I choose to. So let's run it now and see how that's going to work. So we click on run. No error, that is fine. Let's bring it here. If I click on 7, look at that. You see? So what I'm going to do now is I'm now going to assign that name, the button name, which is called number click, this very number click. I'm going to copy it, select button 8 and change the event on click to number click. Press enter. Remember to always press enter. Repeat the same thing for 9, press enter. The same thing for 4, enter. 5. So they now all have the same event. You can try to do it at one go, but it didn't work for me, so that's why I'm doing it individually. Enter, and I'm going to repeat the same thing for that and for 3. Let's go back. Let's see 3. No, 3. I end up creating an event for 3. That is wrong. Press enter. Now let's create one for 0. There we go. So I believe that they all now have the same events. You see, that is the, or those are the lines of codes used in 7. There we go. That is it. Create an object. Now classify the object as a sender, and that is the object itself, B. So use an if statement. If there's 0 in the text box or on the T8 edit, add whatever you have inside the caption of B in there, and that is it. Else, keep adding. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to run that. Look at that. Yeah, there's no error. I have 5, 3, 2, 1, 0, 4, 5, 6, 9, 8. Simple. That's very good. Now let's take care of some other stuff in here. I'm going to copy this and let's go into clear. Double click on clear and just paste that in there. Clear is taken care of. Okay, the next thing is let's take care of, yeah, we might as well do this. Let's just take care of the backspace. Double click on backspace. Inside the backspace, I'm going to say txt display dot text, that is column equals, copy whatever we have inside txt display, comma, what is on the first, and then comma length, close that, then txt display dot text, close the bracket, you minus 1 from it there, and that should take care of the backspace. But the problem is, if I clear out whatever we have inside on the text box, we also end up leaving it without any value at all. Let's try this out. You will understand what I'm talking about. Oh, we have 2 errors in there. Let's check out the error. Okay, what did I do wrong in here? Oh, that should have a column. Alright, so now that's taken care of. Run. Remember the clear? That's what happened in there. I paste that without the column. Now backspace, all gone. So what I want to do now is I'm going to use an if statement. If that particular text box is empty, we want you to add a 0 onto it. So I'm going to come right down here. If txt display.text is empty, I want you to do as follows: txt display, enter a 0 value in there. That's all I want you to do for me. Alright, let's take care of this column, and we also take care of just delete that out of it. Yeah, so it has a value which is nothing, so in that case there's not going to be a column in there. And now if there's nothing in there, we want it to enter a 0 value. So let's run it now. So that should take care of the backspace, leaving the text box empty. So look at that. So if I say backspace, there we go. So that is taken care of. Now let's take care of the clear entry. Double click on clear entry. With the clear entry, I'm going to declare 2 local variable. So let's just say variable f comma s. Both of them are string data type there, and right underneath begin we say txt display equals that, and f equals first number. Remember the variable that was declared earlier? Now we're making use of them. S equals second number there, and we now want you to clear any of those that comes in first. There we go. We'll just clear whatever we have inside the F, and we can do exactly the same thing for S there, and that is S. But make sure you have your column here, okay, else you end up with an error. Okay, you might not be able to see that working properly yet, but let's run it. There's no error. So whatever value I enter in there, let's assume I click on any of these and I say delete whatever value is there before, it will get rid of that. Alright, so that is fine. Now let's take care of the plus minus. Double click on the plus minus. With the plus minus, let's declare a variable for us here, and I'm just going to call that Q, and Q will be a real number. Okay, and right underneath begin, I'm going to say Q equals column equals let's convert string to float, and the data will be inside the text box. That's that the text box is txt display dot text there. Okay, so whatever we have inside the text box is converted to float and stored inside Q. Now I'm going to copy this, come right down here, let's say txt display column equals float to string -1, multiply that by q. There. So remember, whatever we have in here is stored right in here. Okay, we now multiply it by -1 and it's converted to float to string, so that the text box can have the data as a string value. And that's all there is to that as well. So that's very simple to understand. All we just done is multiply it by -1. So let's run that and see. We have 9 plus minus, you get that. So that is working fine. So let's take care of the arithmetic operators and equals. I'll take care of just one, or you can group them together and just use object for them as well. Double click on that. So I'm going to start by saying, so what we do now is we assign the very first value straight into first number. So we say first number equals txt display dot text. There, that is the value of first number. And the second operator, I think, is in a character format. It's called ops right here, this very one. Okay, let's come into ops. In here we just say ops. In that case, ops equals, that should be column equals the plus sign. There we go. And let's clear whatever we have inside the text box and just get it cleared. There. So that is the first operator taken care of, the plus operator. So I'm going to copy that and double click on the subtract and change the operator to subtract. Repeat the same thing for the multiplication, and that become multiplication. Then we have division. There we go, that becomes division. There. Now let's run it, try that out and make sure there's no error. No error so far. So let's say 5 plus 3. Now we need the equals to work, so that's fine. So let's come down here and double click on let's take care of the decimal place first. Double click on the decimal. Okay, we enter as follows. Let's say if I'm going to go for this mass function OPS is dot, in that case let's say comma txt display dot text. Let's get rid of this. If it's dot text is less than and equals to 0, then we want the following. We want the system to exit. Else we then want txt display column equals txt display plus btn dot caption. There we go. That should take care of that. So let's close this up here. Okay, let's try that out, but take a good look at the lines of codes. I'm going to run it. Click on run. There we go. 85.4. Let's try it again. That's fine. Alright. backspace, 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 and let's take care of the final one, and that is the equals. Double click on equals, and we start by saying our second number equals txt display. Close this up. Nope. There. Now let's use an if statement to check the selection made. So if op ups, if that is equals the value plus, then I want the following. Think I have answer. Answer will be equals, let's say, to float, string to float, and string, float to string, and string to float, first number. Alright, we've taken care of the first number. So let's enter plus sign here, and I'm going to copy this, change it for second number. Copy, paste that in there, and change this to second number. So the plus sign is just taken care of. Now we now need to assign the data. Txt display dot text, check that out, display dot text equals whatever we have inside answer. There. So that's the very first one. I'm going to copy that and just use it for the others. Copy, paste. So the second one, if it's subtract, then this becomes subtract. Let's say this is multiplication, and this is multiplication as well. Division, and this is division too. There we go. Oh, I left something out. There should be a column there, and here as well, and here there should be one up here too. I think we can try it out now, but before then, have a look at the lines of code for equals. Click on run. No error. That's good. That's a good sign. So let's say 5 multiplied by 3 equals that. Multiply that by 9. No, I changed my mind. Multiply by, clear that. Let's multiply it by 4. There we go. That is 60. Backspace, backspace. 78 plus 5. Divide that by 8. No, clear the last entry. Divide by 3. There we go. Look at that. Clear. 45 plus minus, multiply by 9. There. So with that, guys, I'm gonna call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed, and please do subscribe to this, my second channel. I suppose you guys enjoyed. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.